We build walls by having negative words to each other, and we don't deal with it, and it creates a block between us. And when it creates that block between us, then it just sits there. It doesn't go away. The only way to tear down walls is to apologize for your failures. Well, Ron and Ann, it's good to be back with you, and I'm really excited about this new book because I know that we're all in the same storm, and I do believe that the 5 things that I share in this book will help couples. Even if they had a healthy marriage, it can be better during this time. And if you had a troubled marriage, I believe we can turn that thing around during this time. So one of the ideas I share is, what if we call a truce on throwing verbal bombs at each other? I'm talking about such things as, "You're just like your father, irresponsible." Whoa. Now, we all say things like that from time to time. It's a verbal bomb. And when you throw a bomb, it explodes in the mind and heart of the other person. We're literally destroying our marriage when we do that. And then if we agree on a truce for 3 weeks, we're not going to do that. Then the second week, let's say, what if we start giving each other a compliment each week? I give you one, you give me one, and let's see what happens. I'm telling you, in 3 weeks, it can really change the atmosphere. I had a husband who said to me, "Well, Dr. Chapman, I don't know. I just don't ever say things like that. I don't know if I can give a compliment." And I said, "Well, is there anything good about your wife?" He said, "Well, yes." I said, "Well, give me 3 of them." He said, "Well, she's a good cook, she's a good mother, and she's a good school teacher." I said, "Okay." So I wrote him 3 sentences, 3 compliments out beside each one of those. Like, "Honey, I haven't told you this in a long time, but I really appreciate the way you cook. It's just wonderful. I appreciate your meals." I wrote them out for him. I said, "Now go home, stand in front of the mirror by yourself and read them twice a day, all 3 of them." He came back next week and I said, "Now, can you say them without looking at your notes?" And he did. He stumbled, but he did. And I said, "Now, I want you to go home and I want you to say one of these to your wife every week for the next 3 weeks." He came back after that and said, "Dr. Chapman, I did it." I said, "How did she respond?" He said, "Well," she said, what's going on with you? I've never heard you give me so many compliments." He said, "Well, I'm just trying to learn how to share with you how much I really do appreciate you." And she said, "That is so sweet. I love you." And he said, "She hadn't said that in a long time." There's an ancient Hebrew proverb that says life and death is in the power of the tongue. So let's stop the bombs and let's start giving positive words to each other. It will change the climate, I'm telling you. The second idea I share is, what if we tear down the emotional walls between the two of us? We build walls by having negative words to each other, and we don't deal with it, and it creates a block between us. And when it creates that block between us, then it just sits there. It doesn't go away. Then we have another event and another block, and we build walls. The only way to tear down walls is to apologize for your failures, and then they choose to forgive you. Maybe your spouse is 95% of the problem. Maybe you're only 5%. Let's apologize for your 5%, and then let's see what happens. Maybe they'll forgive you quickly. Maybe they'll say, "Oh, I'll have to think about that." But they're going to go away and think, "Wow, haven't heard this before. I've heard a lot of condemnation. My fault." Never heard them apologize. You see, your behavior can touch their heart, and chances are, sooner or later, they'll come back and apologize to you. Simple, but powerful in changing the atmosphere. I'll come back later and share 3 more ideas.